Hello, hi, and welcome again to the Terminal Podcast, where in the end, it's all about the numbers. We are broadcasting high above the Civic Center Station in downtown Atlanta, and this afternoon, we'll continue this Hireman's venture based from the Castle on the Hill with another THS alum to answer a few questions. Please share your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, it's Tahamei Aziem, calling from Paramus, New Jersey currently.
Okay. Tommy, did you continue your education after graduating from THS?
I did, yeah. I went to small school, the College of New Jersey, TCNJ. I'm going to shout out a few people. I went with Craig Orpello, Sushil Phillip, Yoni Uziel, and Ken Kotkin. I think Yoni transferred, but then the other four, we graduated, I think, in
Okay.
99.
All right. Do you have any personal details you'd like to share since leaving the castle on the hill?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I mean, I think you had sent the questions, right? So
Hmm.
I did get married. I have four boys, four kids, and we moved around a bit. Moved to Chicago, moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, but then ended up coming back, and it would have been great to end up in Teaneck, but we ended up in Paramus, and my kids are going to school and stuff here, so it's fantastic. My wife works nearby. Um, it's great to be back. The traffic, not so much, but everything else is fantastic.
Okay. Well, I'm not here to ask you personal questions. I'm here to ask you different ones because you're here tonight to answer the William E. Brown Memorial Questionnaire. As a former winner of this prestigious and random award, I'm here to ask someone else random questions, and after your answers, you may receive the same accolades that I did. Tom, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Question one. Do you still think and or say you're from New Jersey? And so I'll ask, in seeing how you're in New Jersey, when you went to Raleigh, when you went out of, when you left, did you say you were from New Jersey?
100%. Oh, yeah, definitely from New Jersey. Yeah, and I don't even say like New York, if they say, "Oh, where's New Jersey?" then I explain it, but obviously, if I'm international or something, everybody knows where Jersey is and always from New Jersey, still in New Jersey.
Okay. So the follow-up is, do you say you're from Teaneck or do you just say Northern New Jersey or what? I mean, being in Jersey now.
I say I'm from Teaneck, New Jersey, for different reasons. It's close to New York, so people can look it up, um, and I think it was in the news a lot too. So old heads actually know where it is or have an idea where it is.
All right. Question number two. What was your favorite mall growing up?
Uh, wasn't much of a mall guy. I think Um, I would have to say Riverside Square because it was like a relaxed, chill atmosphere. Not a lot of people there, if you remember. It's still the same, I
Hmm.
think. Not a lot of people
Hmm.
go there. It had the higher end stores, but it was if it was a hangout, it was that. If I was going with friends, it was Garden State Plaza. I think there was a clothing store that we used to go to all the time, my brothers and I. I don't remember the name, but usually it was Riverside Square Mall, but to hang out with friends, Garden State. But not that I was a big mall guy.
Okay. You mentioned four boys, so this is a tough one. When was the last time you and your boys were at a mall?
I don't know. All of us, maybe to watch a movie a few months ago at again back at was it Riverside? But we didn't
Hmm.
go to the mall. We just went, back door into the theater and then came out of there. If I went into a mall, that was probably about 3, 4 years ago, I think.
Hmm.
Maybe more. I don't know. But yeah, it's not frequent. Don't go to the mall.
Interesting. Question number three. Have you ever used advanced math like pre-calculus or trigonometry since high school?
Yeah, since high school. So that includes college then?
I mean, unless you, it, it includes college if you took like had to take like a standard math class to then finish your math requirements. But have you gone past that is basically the question, or have you just kind of
Well, I mean, I was a comp sci major,
mhm,
so I definitely took advanced math, some crazy math, like math. I don't even, if they didn't give a curve, I don't know how I would have passed it. Like I've taken, definitely taken calculus one and two probably,
mhm.
and then linear math, and I don't know. Yeah, so I did. Have I used it since then?
That's the question.
Yeah, not since college, but going back to my kid's in high school now, so I have to relearn some of the math and help him out, equations and things like that. But
Mhm.
nothing like calculus. So yeah, I guess the short answer is no. I have not had to use it since college.
Since college.
Yeah.
Interesting. Question four. What do you think of drivers from other states?
Not as good as they're not as good as Jersey drivers, of course. We have the best drivers. I'm living in Paramus, so up and down Route 17 all the time. So when there's traffic, but when there's no traffic, it's like, you got to zip in and out. People are still doing that. But now that I'm older, before I was probably me. I would be the one like, trying to get somewhere fast. Now that I'm older, you know, I appreciate that I'm a scared driver now. I appreciate that I was a good driver because I'm from Jersey, but no one else is as good. Again, like I said, I've lived in Chicago, lived in Raleigh. Like if they get a little bit of rain, they don't know how to drive. They don't know how to drive anymore. They're like crashes everywhere. But Jersey drivers are the best.
Okay. Question five. Do you still have or wear any of the clothes you wore in high school?
Absolutely not. Nothing. I don't have anything, and it definitely would not fit.
Absolutely not. Okay. Question number six. Do you remember the black door and the white door?
Yeah, I remember the black door, and I heard like one or two podcasts before. So I've and some people was there a white door? Was I at the white door? I don't know, but where was so I definitely remember the black door. Where was the white door? Do you know?
Well, if you saying that, where was the black door?
So that was the by the shop, right? Where the Route 4 side.
Okay.
There's the main entrance, and then there was, I guess, this side of Teaneck. So obviously, I get an idea of, I guess, where it is, but I never knew it was the white door. I just knew there was the black door. But again, it was as some people have mentioned it too. Is it was a thing, and people knew about it, but I don't think it really, you know, had an impact on anything, right? People, it was just a thing.
It's just a name, in other words. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything other than that. Yeah. Hmm. That's about. Question seven. Who did you have a crush on that never knew?
Um, I'm at home and my wife is upstairs, so no one. I mean, I had no crushes in high school, but it was also high school, and so I would have to say no names, of course, but it was a lot of people. It changed a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Has anyone given a name for that? I haven't heard. The couple that I heard, nobody actually
There's
gave names.
there's been names. There's been names. I was gonna say there's a 30-year statute of limitations that that eliminates anything as far as this court is concerned. So
Okay. Um, yeah, no, I
that's fine.
refuse. I refuse to answer that one.
That's all right.
But
You can
I
recuse.
was like I said, I was a quiet guy. It was just from afar everything.
Hmm. Question eight. Since we've graduated high school, how far have you physically traveled from the high school from Teaneck as the sort of the center point?
So my family's from Pakistan, so I
Mhm,
actually just this summer we went back there. I took my kids and my wife out there. So I would say that's probably the furthest. I know that's like 7,000 miles or something. It's like a 13-hour flight, 14-hour
mhm.
flight. And then going west is probably Hawaii, which is feels like it's the same distance, but
I want to
I
say
don't know.
Hawaii's 5,000. So, and if you're going,
5,000, yeah. So
I,
Pakistan, 7,000
mhm,
miles.
I was a journalism major, not a geography major, so I can only guess. Um, but yeah, no, I think all right. So Pakistan heading east. So how is it going? How is it for your children kind of seeing Pakistan?
They loved it. They've never they had I think one of them had gone or two of them had gone when they were much younger, but
Mm,
they loved it tremendously. Like just the food and my wife has some family there, so just hanging out with them. The culture there is different. It's like more of a late night culture. No, not so much go-go. So they enjoyed it a lot. Um, and yeah.
okay. Question 9. What do you remember the science classrooms looking like?
Well, I think we had that discussion, you and I, at least, because we took that tour for the reunion.
Hmm.
So that was, I think biology was like regular desks, but I do remember we dissected stuff. So, so, so there must have been some tables back there. The chemistry was, of course, Mr. Holly's raised, stools and then that black table. Physics, I think, was just desks also. I think those are the three sciences I took there. So I remember exactly the black desks that everybody's talked about before, sort of raised.
Question number 10. What do you remember most from your life before graduation? Just, not either in general or a moment that kind of stands out, anything, but when you think
Uh,
back,
so in like one specific moment or in general you're talking about?
any any moment, but before you graduated, when you think back on life before you kind of graduated and walked.
Um, so I remember like studying at Craig's house, Craig Orpella's house. Me, you, Lee Bronsnick, Yusuf, maybe one or two other people. And then the snowstorm hit and school was canceled the next day. This is like midterms or something. And then we all went out to like play football in Craig's front yard. I think that's one of my most uh, like ingrained memories. Like I remember that. Every time I think about high school, that's what I think about. The other thing I think about just now, because our kids are getting older and such, I some people are like, graduating, because world economy, whatever, competitiveness, but people are trying to graduate high school early and trying to graduate college early. And I'm just like, don't do that. It was like, you know, even if it isn't the best time, you'll think back that it's the best time. So
Mm,
that's again, like I remember a lot of things, but that football game that we had, it was like that's really there. Just hanging out with a bunch of guys, volleyball practice, that was fun for me. So all of it was all of it was great, but that one particularly.
yeah. You've reached the end and shall receive the same accolades as this former winner. Thank you very much. A- As always, the Terminal Podcast ends with a trivia question. When we saw each other at the 30-year reunion, the whole THS tour were going around, you were wearing a Paramus high school football shirt.
Yeah.
With that in mind, using the interwebs, I looked back at the Highwaymen's football record during our time when they were on the foosball field, which, for those who haven't been back, has changed. It used to be running Let's see, technically speaking, it used to run east-west. No, it used
East,
to run north-south. It used
north,
to run
south. Yeah,
north-south, and now it runs east-west. So it's
yeah.
lengthened, and they took away the pebble track. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter because there were many talented players during our 4 years at THS, including shameless plug for his questionnaire, Wally Alegbe, who,
Yeah.
when he was in our senior year, he was a second team NNJIL selection along with Ryan Dory, James Carter, Jeff Mutiva, and Dwayne Allen.
Are you?
According, those are all seniors that were second team
Okay.
NNJIL while we were there during our senior year. This is according to BergenPassaiCFootball.com.
Mhm.
So the question becomes from our freshman year in 1991 to the fall of 1994, the Highwaymen would play Paramus and Paramus Catholic 8 times,
Mhm.
including a 41-40 win over PC during our senior year, a win I have no memory of. How many times did the Highwaymen defeat teams from Paramus during our 4 years?
So they played Paramus. Oh, okay, both Paramus teams. So wait, back up for a second. John
Mhm.
Wellington was not is not on that
Oh,
list.
no, he was higher than second
Okay, yeah,
team.
because I think he
he
went.
he was first team all county.
Okay, good, yeah, because he was like he went to a really good school for football.
Syracuse, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, just because of the way you asked it, I'm gonna say, and we used to be good, and I don't imagine Primus being that good. I would say we were 7-1,
So 7 victories out of
7 victories. Yeah, maybe
okay.
one loss. Fluke.
Seven is the number. Thanks for listening to the latest W.E. Brown questionnaire. The trivia answer will be in the description for this episode. I'll be back hopefully soon enough with something better to put down. Tahami, thank you very much. Take it easy down your life's highway and have a good afternoon.